It's beautiful out. I don't know if you can see that. It's obviously busy here on the Lynn Parkway. I don't know if that's the Lynn Parkway. I'm just kidding. Look at that rainbow. Look at that. Wait a minute. Focus in. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That is beautiful. That is so beautiful. I see like a light blue, dark blue, purple, red, orange, yellow. Why is there no green in a rainbow? I just realized that. Gosh darn it. Lucky Charms lied to me. Those magical shamrock mushrooms. Marshmallows. My son calls them mushrooms. What is going on? Welcome to the live stream. A little different, a little break from the news, from the monotony. It's gotten to be a little bit out of control. Break from the news. I had some stuff I wanted to talk about. The Once Upon a Time in Shaolin album that Martin Shkreli with that farmer bro bought for $2 million. And then I think pirated. Good for him. The only time I support Pharma Bro. But I don't want to talk about that today. I don't. Because look at that beautiful view. Absolutely gorgeous. What I want to talk about is something that could potentially help you make more money. Gotta love the ladies from Swampscott that are walking their dogs talking. But I want to talk about something that could potentially help you make more money. Potentially help you make more money. Look at that view. That view is so beautiful. Good God. Good God, man. Good God. That's a good God right there. Made a rainbow sunset. Look at that boat over there. You see that little boat, the little dinghy? Where is he? Right there. Little dinghy. You better get in. That's sunsetting. So what I want to talk about, getting more money. I'll tell you the story that's happening to a loved one, someone I love very much. They're going through this right now. And I try to share this information with everybody and anybody that is going through a situation like this at work, at a job, in your career. I want to share something that could potentially help you make a lot of money. A lot more money. And I shouldn't just say money. I should say your compensation could be much greater. We could add value to your compensation package. And I want you to notice, whenever they talk about CEOs or managers or people who get really, really well paid, notice what they talk about. They don't just get a salary. In fact, sometimes like Jeff Bezos' salary is $0 or $1 or something stupid. Bill Gates takes $1 in salary. What's up, CJ? Look at how beautiful it is. And the reason they say, oh, well, he only takes $1 salary is because they get a compensation package, okay? Now, a compensation package can entail all sorts of things, from paid days off to usage of a car, sometimes a private jet. We'll talk about that in a second. Stock options, that's a famous one for CEOs. They'll take stock options. And then what they'll do is they'll spend the profits of the company into buying back stock, which inflates the stock price, artificially inflates the stock price. And then they might sell some off because the stock went up a lot and they made a lot of money on that. Sometimes they don't even sell it off. In the case of Elon Musk, he has no cash money, no liquid assets, but he's just on paper, on virtual, he's worth a lot. And that way they don't get taxed on it. Anyways, so I should say this could add value to your compensation package. And the number one thing is negotiate. And the way I speak on this, or where I come from speaking on this, is because I worked in radio for 20 years. And in radio, you usually, once you get out of the rungs of being part-time or a street teamer, you go to work within a contract. And in that contract, your compensation package involves your salary, your vacation time, your paid time off, any other bits and bobs and bonuses and all that stuff. It's all structured into your contract. So I had to live and die off contracts my entire career, and no one helped me. I figured these out the hard way. And I mean the hard way. My first negotiation at a dinner table was awful. I just took the extra, I forget, a couple $1,000 that they threw at me. I was young and I had nobody to mentor me or say, like, never take the first offer. Like, you never, ever, ever say that's okay. Never. So that's number one, rule number one. But there's something bigger here. And if you ever find yourself in this situation, come back, watch this video, go through it. Like I told my loved one, someone who I love with all my heart, my better half, I couldn't survive without. They're going through a situation where they're leaving their job. Their work was bought out by basically an investment company. It came in and slashed everybody's pay rate, okay? By like $10 an hour, like a huge pay cut. Bro, more gym content. Jake Farm, how's your dad? State Farm. Good to see you again, by the way. Jake Farm. Whoa, and CJ. So, my loved one had this company come in, buy out the company they work for, and immediately called in all the top people, all the people who had been there long enough, right? I always think of Christmas Vacation when Chevy Chase, for his Christmas bonus, gets like a Cheese of the Month club. It's a gift that keeps giving. Clark, because instead of companies showing you that they value you and want to retain you, this company that bought it out said, we're going bankrupt. We got to cut everybody's pay by $10 an hour or more. That's a lot of money. Like you can't survive anymore. And they said, we're going bankrupt. And at that moment, I had looked up what the CEO was making, and it turns out they had just given the CEO an extra $2 million to stay on board. Now, if you're running a company that's going bankrupt, should you be paid an extra $2 million? Probably not. Probably not. But they did. And this is the lies they tell the people on the ground, the workers who make the company go every day. So if you ever find yourself in this situation and you start looking for another job and then get another job, that's what happened. This person said, I got to find another job that's going to not pay me so little for the really hard work I do. And they found another job that wasn't paying quite as high, but almost the same, like a good rate. Well, actually, it might have just been the same as they were getting paid before the $10 an hour pay cut. Now, they're transitioning. They're leaving that old job where there was more than just the pay cut that was wrong. And they're going to this new job. And in this transition, while they're still working at both places because they haven't fully gone and left to the new job, we love a short king. All right, we do, don't we? Look at how beautiful this is out here. That is gorgeous. So, within that transition, from leaving one job to the next, they get a phone call from a boss saying, what can we do to retain you? What's this other place giving you? And without going into specifics, they said, well, it's roughly the same. They said, well, how do we keep you from leaving? And this is a diamond in the rough moment. It doesn't happen often, but if you find yourself in this situation, I want to break down a couple of things. Again, if you're thinking about changing jobs, if you're thinking about looking for another job, whatever it is, where you're in a transition, you can look this up. That is the time where you can get the most money. That is the time where you will get the biggest raise. And if you're leaving a job and your old job says, what can it take to retain you? I want to tell you a few different things. Number one, never tell your old work a bottom line number. Never say, well, I'm making, $50 an hour or whatever it is. Never give them a hard number. You tell them, you know what? I didn't leave that job to take less money. And you let those words speak, okay? So take a note. If your old boss ever calls you and says, well, what are they paying you? How can, we need to know because we want to keep you. Number one, don't tell them. If you ever want to share that with your workers, I highly encourage you to do that, and everyone should. Share your pay with your workers, your coworkers, and if your boss ever tells you you can't or that's against the rules here, tell them it's a federally protected right here in America, everywhere. It's a federal law that workers can share their pay with anybody they want. So you are at liberty to share how much money you make. It's taboo. That is passed down from management, and that is an older generation thing, and it's meant to keep women, people of color, anybody that's not paid as much as everybody else, to keep them in the dark. So share your earnings, Share what you make with your coworkers. But if an old boss ever calls and says, well, what are you making? You tell them, I'll tell you what, I didn't leave that job to take less money, so you figure it out. And then that way, because the biggest mistake people usually make in a negotiation is they give them a number. If you have to give a number, you always go very high. You don't ever want to give them a number. Like if you're saying, I want to make $100,000 a year, right? And you go, I'd like to, be earning 100,000. And the company goes, great, you'll make that. What that tells you right there is they were thinking they were going to have to pay 150,000 and you just sold yourself short by 50 grand. So never sell yourself short. So you tell them, I don't know. You ask them, what's the range here? But we're not talking about initial negotiations. We're talking about a transitional negotiation, going from one job to the next, leaving a job, or some kind of transition within the company or whatever. If it's within the same company, it's a little different because they're all going to know what you're making. If you leave a company, they're not going to know, and they want to know what the other company's paying. But again, that whole taboo thing can work to your advantage. So beautiful sunset, right? Absolutely stunning here in Lynn. Lynn, the city of sin. Never come out the same way you went in. So always negotiate, number one. Never give a firm number. Give them a range. Right? But in this transitional negotiation, Oprah, is it you? Come with a better comment, please. In this transitional negotiation to make yourself more money, you want to tell them, I didn't leave to take less money, and see what they say. Maybe they'll offer you what you wanted. And if they do, you don't take it. You say, I had to consider it. Is that really the best you can do? You want to ask a lot of questions. You always want to keep it open-ended. See what they come in with firm numbers. And don't be scared of silence either. If you sit there quietly in a negotiation, just be okay with it. And the way to do all this too, because I've helped a few different people negotiate different kinds of contracts or money, you need to prepare before time. Whether it's watching YouTube videos, watching this YouTube video, whether it's talking to people that can help you within the industry, talking to confidants that can, get paid more than you and how they did it, talking to somebody who's already gone through a negotiation at that company or in that field. Really, being prepared and even practicing. I'll tell you what, how many times I've practiced with somebody? Because saying these things to somebody can be terrifying, and especially when you're trying to get more money. And that's the other thing. You can have an agent, you can have an advocate. I want you to think about all the famous people that when they get famous, they hire. Like there's all this controversy about Mr. Beast right now, right? And if you listen to any of the stories or the background people are telling, Mr. Beast's mom he says he doesn't even have access to his bank accounts. His mom runs everything. She has access to all the bank accounts. So she's probably like his manager. And then his cousin, these people are not qualified to run these things, but because it's family and they want to keep it in the family, his cousin is the CEO. And I'm sure Mr. Beast's friends are his PR and manager or agent or, people that work things out. So remember, you can have an agent, an advocate. You can have somebody who stands in for you to help you negotiate or comes with you or does it for you. There's no law against that. What you want is somebody that's trusted, well-versed, knows, the market value for what you're trying to go for. And I highly recommend that. I've done it for people. I offer to do it for people. Shit, I should just start an agency. Oprah went goth. She did. What's up, Bandito? Good to see you. That's why Bernie fought for 50 an hour, because that's how you open negotiations. And by the way, if you really want to make more money, start a union at your work. Union employees get 12 to 15% more than non-union. It might even be more than that now. But you can have an agent. And this is why I wanted to do this live, because people I love are going through this, and people I love have gone through this and come to me, and I've negotiated so many times, and I've embarrassed myself, and I've walked away regretting things. And I promised myself, after having those regrets and those hard negotiations where I lost, and remember, if you don't negotiate, you're living with that money, that compensation package. That's what rich people call it, because I'm going to teach you that money isn't everything, okay? Money is what you make, but there's so many things that can add value to your work life, and we're going to get into that. And that's why rich people, the wealthy people, get a compensation package, because there's more a place of work can offer. But really, 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 Like, this is so important. You have to negotiate. And you have to, because when I walked away from a negotiation that I regretted, that I went, oh, I made a mistake, I agreed to a number too low, I had to live with that through the duration of the contract. 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. I had to, you'll be reminded every paycheck. So it's just worth it to try. And it's 100% worth it because you gain experience. The more you negotiate, the more experience you get, the better you'll get at it. And at some point you'll nail that $1 million contract. You will. So I really want to help people because I really want people to be doing this for themselves. It's better when you have a union. CJ, my husband, always brings his union rep to every meeting with the administrator. There you go. If you get in a union, you pay for that representation. And the union dues are not even nearly close to what you'll make when you're in a union. Like, your raise goes up so much, your union dues do not affect any of that. For all those people who like to say that. There are a lot of union haters, or the corporate I don't know, lapdogs that go, oh, union fees. Yeah, if I get a 15% raise, who cares if I spend $30 a month in union fees when I get a rep to go in with me, somebody who's going to advocate for you. But you don't have to have a union. You can do this when you're negotiating. You can say, this is my representative. I need them here in this negotiation. They help me financially. So it's extremely important because this is your moment. And just like I was telling my loved one, this is a diamond in the rough. Right now, you have a new job. You took that new job for many reasons, but the old job is saying, what can we do to get you back? And I said, now is time not only to see what you can get, but to practice. Give yourself experience. No matter what, negotiate with things that don't matter. You know, do it for fun, do it with your kids, do it with your friends. Just practice, because just doing that playful negotiation will make your body, make your reactions, make you just like a professional. Like any kind of, like a pro basketball player. They'll play basketball with their kids, they'll play basketball, you know, whenever, because it's all getting them into that groove, into that vibrational feel of what it's like. And the more you can be playful with it, and the more experience you get, even if it's at low stakes or no stakes, for a candy bar at work with somebody, over trying to get them to do something for you, or you do something for them, the more you can negotiate, the more experience you get, the better you get at it. And then when it's real game time, holy shit, if you got to sit in a negotiation, just be quiet after you say something, because you'll go, well, you know, I didn't leave that job for less pay. And you got to wait to see what they say. And that's very hard for some people to do. I'm sorry about the lighting. That is extremely hard for some people to do, to just sit there in their silence. You know, and I've done it. I mean, I just negotiated, this lawyer wanted something and kept contacting me for somebody else. And he kept saying, well, why don't you give me a number? Why don't you give me a number? I said, no, I don't know. I said, why don't you tell me your number? And I just stayed quiet. And I just sat there. And he did. A lawyer. I couldn't believe it. I got off the phone laughing. I called my brother. I said, you're never going to believe this. The dude gave me his number, and it was so low. I said, I'm not even calling him back. It was hilarious. But some people, even seasoned vet or professionals in certain fields, you never think they'd be able to just be able to be okay with the pause of silence. He couldn't take it. And I got him to give up the goods. So they used to have debate shows in school, debate clubs. Yeah, I know. Debate club is such a, no wonder why they got rid of it. It's such a healthy thing for kids and young people to understand. And even as we grow older, trust me, I'm in my 40s and it took me a long time to get here. And I'm still learning all the time. I make all mistakes all the time. But I want to share with the basic stuff that I do know. So not only would you say, I didn't leave that job for less pay, and let them know you're getting paid more. And they're going to have to, if they want to retain you, they're going to have to match. But the other thing I was saying to my loved one is, you just told me you got a month off paid vacation. You didn't have to earn it. At your old place, you started with 7 days and you had to earn everything else. I said, plus you got your birthday paid off. Your birthday is a day off paid. I said, you said they serve you lunch there. The ratios for your work is better, so you're not understaffed. There are so many things that when you're treated like rubbish as a worker for so long, it's like a frog in boiling water. You don't notice. When it's a slow boil, you don't notice that the water's getting hotter. And even though you're in a pressure cooker, it's just become normalized to you. So when you get out of that, you're like, wow, I'm treated like a human almost. Not really, because you're still a worker. And management don't look at workers as humans. But it can be stunning to the system, so any little thing feels good. And this is where I come in and I snap you out of it. And I go, no, you deserve more than that. And I know some people say, oh, no, you got to work hard to... No, life isn't for you to just work and barely survive. These companies are lucky they have such great workers. At least the people I know. These people put so much into it to make the CEOs really wealthy. I'll give you an instance at my work. They just hired the CEO of Chipotle and let the guy who they gave an $8 million sign-on bonus just for taking the job, $8 million, didn't work a day yet, just earned $8 million for signing on the contract. I make $4 an hour at Starbucks, but they just hired the CEO from Chipotle, and I do not get paid my drive time going to work. I had to get up at 3 this morning to drive into work to open it so people can get hot coffee, and I can make this management and CEOs a lot of money with them not even being there. They don't pay me for that drive time. They don't pay me for my travel time. I don't get paid till I get into work. Well, this new CEO, part of his $114 million compensation package, $114 million. Man, if they're hurting for money, they shouldn't be paying that much. But they shouldn't be paying that much right away. But you know what they're letting this Chipotle CEO do now that he's at Starbucks? They're letting him not only commute to work, but he's commuting in the Starbucks private plane from California to Seattle. That's part of his compensation package. Like the word multitasking, you're doing a ton more work for no more pay. Exactly. Watching from Ethiopia. What's up, Yamaru? Hopefully I said that okay, Yamaru. What is up, Ethiopia? Yo, we got to connect, man. I would like to hear how things are going in Ethiopia, and I'm not kidding. I'll put the link to my Discord down below. Join up and we'll connect. I'm talking to somebody who's in Paris, France next week. They're going to come on live on the live stream next week, I think on Tuesday. So please tune into that. We're going to talk about all sorts of what it's like for workers living in France, how their healthcare system is, what it was like with the Olympics for the locals, what it's like post-Olympics for the locals. We're going to talk a ton of stuff. Doreen's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be on Tuesday, so make sure you're subscribed and you hit the notification bell. So, Yamaru, I don't know if you'd like to come on at some point and talk about Ethiopia and what it's like out there for workers and people and what the biggest struggles are and what you see are good, bad, other, what it's like culturally. I would love to rap with you. So hit subscribe, hit the notifications so you can get notified when I go live. I go live 5 days a week. But that would be awesome to speak with you from Ethiopia, from Salem, Mass to Ethiopia. That would be so dope. Tuesday is going to be awesome. It is Lemon Cartoon CJ. And I'm going to set it. I'm going to schedule it once I get closer and we finalize everything. But yeah, it's going to be pretty rad talking to somebody in Paris, France. I'm going to be tripping, man. It's going to be pretty cool. Lemon Cartoon, the topic is how to make more money. I should have said how to make your compensation package at work better. Because what I'm talking about is a loved one of mine is leaving one job to go to another. Their old job, where they're still working at both, they're doing this transition to go to the new job. Their old job got bought out by some investment company. Oh, they were mad. Uh-oh. Gotta hurry up to that next red light. But so my loved one, whom I love dearly and I do anything, I'll fight. I'm like a pit bull when it comes to this person. I will do anything to help them. And they are leaving their old company because they got bought out by basically an investment company. They said, oh, we can't afford to pay you what we were paying you, so you're going to get a $10 an hour pay cut. Although the CEO just got a $2 million sign-on bonus. Always look at what the CEOs make. So going to this new company, they haven't totally left the old one yet. The boss calls and says, what can we do to keep you? And I just wanted to share things that in this moment, this is a diamond in the rough moment you can do to get what you want, or at least practice your negotiations. And what I said is you tell them, well, I didn't leave that job, because they want to know how much you're making. Not only because it's their competition, but they want to see if they can still lowball you to keep you, because they know what you're worth and how good you are as a worker. I said, you never give them a number. You say, well, I'll tell you what, I didn't leave that job for less money. And they're going to try to match what what they're making. But here's the thing. The old job was understaffed, overworked, bunch of other little things. They had to earn their vacation time. They were only given 7 to start with. So even the veterans, which this person is a veteran of the company, hadn't even earned what she's getting at the new job. So at the new job, a month paid time off. Your birthday is a paid day off. They have a lunch where they feed you at this work. The ratios of staffing are better. I said, that is all stuff that people don't consider. They say, yeah, I'm miserable there, but I know everybody. If they could just pay me more, maybe I'll go back. And I say, no, because what you can do, and you can negotiate these things. And if maybe you already know that, want to know how France shut down power, politicians' house only. CJ, great question. Please, that's the other thing. If you guys have questions, please leave them for me. I'll try to remember that one. We love CEOs more than our own workers. That's the thing. People defend them, and these people are the ones treating everybody bad. They're ruining the economy. They're hoarding all the wealth. But I said, you need to negotiate for that stuff. Now, in radio, I could negotiate. I always made sure I had 4 weeks off, 4 weeks paid vacation. There were other things that I had, bonus structures, different things that you could, have into your contract. You could write anything to a contract. You just got to get the other party to agree to it. So this is something that's so crucial and people overlook. You can, even though if they say, well, you can only earn what the state minimum vacation, paid time, sick time. Yeah, but you can also negotiate. If you're going to get a contract of somebody trying to get you back, you can put that in a contract. Like, I want 4 weeks paid vacation off the bat. They can do that. These companies can do whatever they want. And if you don't believe me, go look at how they treat the CEOs. They'll do whatever. The CEOs aren't earning vacation time, okay? I know it's getting dark. I'm going to wrap up here in a minute. But this is so important. If anyone's going to negotiate, going for a new job, going for a transition, this can help you because this is the key. You can negotiate for guaranteed sick time, guaranteed paid time off, your birthday as a holiday that you get paid off. I mean, that's happening at this company. If they want to match, if they really want her back, then you can match that. But here's the other key. Every contract I had was written out, signed by 2 parties. Everybody had copies. If a work's going to offer you something, it has to be written. You both have to sign it. You need it in a legal binding contract, okay? With a witness there to sign as well. That's the only way they're going to hold true to it, because they might promise you a bunch of stuff. And I learned this again the hard way. These were spoken promises that were not written in the contract. And when I was working there and I said, well, what about this that you said? He said, well, go check your contract. And I went, oh, fuck, that's really how you're going to do me. And they did. So again, I learned the hard way. And that will make you angry. So everything's got to be written in the contract. But you can also get, drives to work time, just like the CEO of Starbucks, who came from Chipotle, is getting to use a private plane to fly from California to Seattle to work. Okay? They're offering them that. You can negotiate for whatever. And remember that, because if there's something important, I don't know what fields have different specialty things, but if there are things that you need to negotiate for, consider all your options. It doesn't always have to be money. And sometimes money isn't the best thing, because if you want to go on vacation, if you want to spend time with your kids, if you want holidays guaranteed with your kids, maybe paid time off is more important than an extra $1 an hour. Those 4 weeks might be way more important to utilize through the year than that money. So consider that. People sometimes, I think, don't consider that, and you can and you should. But the most, knowing your worth, it comes with experience. That is the truth. My mom had a pin that says, know your worth. And goddamn, I miss my mom, because she was, a hero to people who were fighting for better. Man. But you got to consider that stuff. And I have the experience mostly because I fucked up a lot. I messed up in so many I did it all by myself. I didn't have an agent until I got out of radio. Like when I was trying to get back in. So everything else was just me as a young kid going into these high-powered negotiations that managers and management were trained to negotiate against me. And I had no idea. I had a good career, but it could have been much better. And nobody sat me down and did this with me. And that's why I'm doing this live, because nobody did this with me. And this needs to be recorded. Come back, listen to this. If somebody's going through it, send them here. Have them reach out to me. I will book time with them, because you can get paid more. And it doesn't always have to be money. a compensation package. I want you to study what the wealthy people do. They get compensation packages, and it's not always about the salary. Sometimes they know the value is somewhere else. It's the hidden wealth, the stocks, or whatever it is. Whatever you can, bank on to help you in your situation, which can be tailored to each person. But at the end of the day, a union also helps, because a union, what they do is they negotiate as a collective. All the workers come together and go, this is what we all have agreed on, what we want at this workplace: safer, paid time off, sick time, vacation time, salary, healthcare, all that stuff. And they'll negotiate that's why you see the strikes. There was just a strike authorized, I forget by who. Another strike authorized because if the company isn't going to play ball with them, they go, then we don't work. And if you're not going to pay us enough to live, your company's not going to make money, because we're going to withhold our labor until you want to come and talk to us about how we can afford to live and work. So it's powerful. So ultimately, I would say organize, start a union, join a union. But if you can't and you're a solo, you're a lone wolf, which is much tougher. But you can hold that road. I did for a long time. Listen to me, I sound like an old geezer, as they say in the UK. But I think that's a slang bad term. I don't know. I just like how they call people geezers. That's so funny to me. I'm going to start using it. So anyways, consider all sorts of things for your compensation. Never get sold short. Don't be scared of silence. And don't ever sell yourself short. That is most important. Don't give them a firm number, and never, ever tell them your bottom line. If they're asking you, well, what are you making now? Tell them $5 more than you are. Tell them that. Tell them it's more than you are. Because you know what? These companies forever and a day would make you jump through all these hoops and not even tell you what the pay was. Now we're finally starting to see laws where they have to list the pay. Now you're finally starting. There's still a ton of jobs out there that you don't even get to see the pay. And you got to jump through. You got to do these automated film yourself interviews, and then book 3 different interviews and spend all this money to travel or get somewhere or use gas or take time out of your day or leave your other job. These companies don't care. So when they go, well, what are you making now? We're really interested. You tell them more. You tell them you're making more than you are, so they got to match it. And then if they can't match it, and they go, well, we can only do a little less, it's still more than what you're making, and you made out like a bandit. Do it. Remember, these are companies. They don't have integrity, morals, character, ethics. The only thing they worship is the bottom line, the almighty dollar and their profits. That's it. They ain't your friends. They ain't gonna go and help you if you need someone to pick up your kids after school. They ain't your friends. You go there for an exchange of money. You're selling your labor, your body, your soul, your heart, your mind, your time. You're selling them your time. Remember that. It is so important to remember that. This is not about a friendship. You are selling them your time, and these companies have made it more and more clear, because no one's retiring at the same company. They've slashed all the benefits. They slashed the retirements. They've gotten rid of everything to reward you for your seniority. So remember that. You ain't friends. You're selling them your time, your most valuable asset in this world. You need to be prepared when you're going to negotiate to give up your time for that job. So just remember that, okay? I gotta go, it's too dark. Look at how beautiful it is. Scary though. I wouldn't want to go swimming out there right now. There's probably a shark somewhere. And Godzilla, if you can hear me, it's time to rise. Come on, Godzilla. Where are you? Where are you, Godzilla? Come, wreak havoc in the financial district. Come on. Come on, Godzilla. Rise up, rise up. All right, CJ, Lemon Cartoon, Yamaru, everybody, Bantito, thanks for stopping by. Oprah, good to see you. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Much love, respect, and I hope you took something away from this. I really do. We can talk about this more too. This was just off the cuff because I had news stories I want to talk about. But for real, this is so important because you spend so much of your life at work that they need to make it worth your time. Really, for real. So share this with somebody that, is getting a new job, leaving an old job. Share this with people that need it. We need to spread this knowledge. Okay? Peace. Much love.